Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Anthony Truss, and I'm going to be introducing to you the Block 1 AC Days Blue and Red Cohort Engineering Applications course open house presentation. This is going to be 5 minutes or less, just as a rundown prior to me meeting you in person, where hopefully you've had this opportunity to view prior to the open house, and if you have any questions, obviously I'll address them in person, online, distance-wise. So what you see up here on the screen, obviously other than myself, is the Google Classroom reflecting the coursework that we'll be focusing on this year. This is the stream view of the Engineering Applications course. The Google Meet that students use to meet with me when they're at home is represented obviously here where I've highlighted it. And then the join code is here to obviously enroll in the course if accidentally they were to unenroll or need to be re-enrolled. Parents should be adding themselves to the classroom, and then also if you wish for me to invite you personally, under the People tab I can invite guardians here. All of the names that are listed there in terms of parents and guardians were automatically added by each individual parent. So if you need help with that, please email me and I'll help you out. However, the point of this video is just for me to kind of give you a quick little preview of what specifically your son or daughter will be doing this year, and kind of some of the confusing points of the course that I know that in the past experience parents have always asked questions about. So first of all, what are we going to be doing? How are we going to be keeping track of assignments and so forth? So I'm going to try to keep everything in the Google Classroom in terms of what we'll be doing, whether it's in person or at home. And then the stream itself keeps a chronological order of posts. However, it's a poor way to keep yourself organized in terms of what we've been doing. I recommend using the classwork tab. And then the classwork tab, when collapsed like this, you can kind of see that I've broken it down topically by week and date range. So as you can see, week 1, we focused on just kind of getting to know each other, knowing what they have at home in terms of availability, so I can kind of gear assignments towards the distance learning side as well as in person. We had a technology article related to current events specifically to engineering. And then ultimately the first grade in Power School, as you can see here, would be the review the guidelines of student success with parents. Specifically, I stressed my zero grade policy if work is missing when I grade it. Often I'll assign work with a specific due date. I most likely won't have the opportunity to grade that the instant that it's due. There'll be several days between when it's due and when I get to it. Currently, right now, there's a handful, just based on the course load and work that I have. However, when I do get to the grading process of that specific assignment, which once again will be several days after it's been due, if it's not turned in at that point, your son or daughter will earn a 0 with a missing, incomplete, and late indicator in Power School that can be repaired and made up. If I don't put those indicators in, you as parents won't really understand and see the difference between an assignment with no grade or an assignment with an A. There's no impact academically on an average. So by putting zeros in, I'm technically communicating to you what the academic penalty will be prior to, let's say, the close of the quarter, where surprises obviously can happen. So it lets students know exactly what the academic impact is as well. And it could just be an honest mistake of forgetting to turn something in, and if that 0 obviously reminds them because they see that their average drops, they can obviously replace that 0 with a grade if they turn in that assignment. However, I will be giving priority to grading of on-time work first and then going to the late work second. So there will be a delay, and if your son or daughter turns an assignment in that is late to repair that 0, I can't instantly take care of that grade right then and there because I'm taking care of on-task work first. But it will get replaced, and as long as it's in, I just wanted to communicate that to you. And then it also kind of brings some importance of making sure that that work is turned in on time. Obviously, there's a specific limit to that. Obviously, if it's like the last day of the quarter and everybody turns in their work at that point, it's not tractable for me to grade that. So please try to have those assignments, if they did pop up as 0s, turned in as soon as possible after you've noticed. Please don't wait till the last day because there's only so many hours in the day. Outside of that, in terms of this course, this is designed to be a second-year course. that works off of these skills and abilities kind of gained from the first year, understanding technical communication, parametric modeling skills, dimensional reasoning, spatial reasoning. We aren't going to be focusing on architecture this year. Obviously, in engineering applications, it's a full 2-semester, full-year course focusing on the understanding of the career paths that you could take within engineering, whether it's to become a certified engineer or just being involved in the engineering world. Product development, manufacturing concepts, using professional software and equipment in the lab where the COVID guidelines obviously allow, and hopefully building some sort of passion and at least technical literacy with regards to the engineered world that we all benefit from. Once again, the coursework is typically organized by week, as you can see. So week 2, we focused on what I call the cut cube, which just deals with a 3-dimensional cube, then cut in a parametric modeling environment, such as SolidWorks, or what we use online will be considered Onshape, as you can see here. So this is just an example of the 3-dimensional object that we first create. It's what we're going to use to 3D print and actually manufacture and CNC machine parts with our 3-axis 4-foot by 8-foot CNC router, as well as our 120-watt laser as well. So we have some really cool pieces of hardware for your son and daughter to try out and see what is kind of being used in industry. And obviously we'll all be focusing on this with a social distancing lens with safety in mind. As you can see here, here's some courseware that we'll be kind of using, which will focus on whether it's component assembly, modeling techniques, understanding the relationships between materials, and manufacturing concepts. So it should be a fun and exciting activity-based year, and extra time can always be allotted when needed, especially when we're involved in the creative work. And I'm just looking for students to try their best and enjoy the content that obviously I'm presenting. So I am out of time, unfortunately, at this moment, but I will talk to you in person through a Google Meet in the near future. And I hope to see you all. Please email me with any questions, and if you need help being invited to the Google Classroom or enrolling yourself as a parent or guardian, I'll be glad to help you. So thank you for joining me this evening, and I hope to speak with you in person. Have a great night.